Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, and this is 3 at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. We outline for you the trades that we have seen from large institutional investors. We try to coattail on those investors and coattail on the potential gains. We always talk about cutting our losses if indeed the trade is not working, and at what levels that we will take profits. So please pay attention to that because both of those are important. As is this, that I'm presenting this for educational and informational purposes only, and that we have intellectual rights such as registered marks, trademarks, copyrights, and we would prefer that you ask us before you reproduce anything that we're about to show you. Thank you. This was Novovax from yesterday when the stock was a mere $203. I think you probably recall from the show yesterday that it jumped pretty substantially up to 210, 211. And then today, bang, trades up all the way up. If you look at the graphic there, pardon me, if you look at the graphic, you'll see that we hit a high of 247 today. So that's up from 203 to 247. That'll work. And look at the volume, 11.13 million shares already today versus normal 7.34. I have a stub left on. I'll call it chump insurance because I've taken virtually all of mine off. These are options that expire this Friday. I know that that's still 3 full trading days away, but you get a move like this, I think you take your profits and run. So I've got about 10% of my position still on. The rest of it, it's in my pocket. This is Bank America. Also, speaking of in your pocket, this one is because we saw it. Stock was just below 40. They bought 12,000, which is 1.25 million share equivalent. Calls that expire this Friday, and bang, this one has moved up to and through 41, been as high as 41.62 today. So those 40 calls would be worth at least $1.62 at that point. And looks like that we want to threaten that 52-week high. So very nice trade also from Mike Yamamoto and Brian McCormick and all the folks, Chris Sikora, that are working in that unusual activity room. Bang. And I thought I'd show you this. This is a preview because I'll talk about this a little tomorrow with Brian Sullivan on the Worldwide Exchange. This is a look at volatility. That line is implied volatility of Disney. So it's not a price graph, it's a volatility graph. But look at where the vol was in 2020. Fluctuating between 30 and call it 39, almost 40. So between 30 and 40 most of the year. This year, the high was that 39.28, nearly 40, when they came out with earnings in February. Then they came out with earnings in May. And guess what happens 3 months after May? August. So we've got earnings in this one coming in August. That's this week, by the way, folks. And look, volatility is near its low ebb. So it's pricing in about a 4.2% move. That's the combination of the call and the put. You put those two together, they're trading for about 750. You divide that by 177.50, the at the money strike, and you get about a 4.2% move. I think it's too small. I think that it's likely to move more. I think people have been lulled into I don't want to say false sense of security because I don't know if it's going up or down yet. My bet is it goes up, that they'll have some positive things about the reopening of Disney World, Disneyland, and the cruises. But that remains to be seen 2 days hence. So let's keep our eye on it. I'm just pointing out this is cheap volatility. And I wanted to point this out as well, folks. Hood. This is what I did in Robinhood. I talked about it on TV live as we did it. I'm in the September 55.75 call spread. I shorted the 57 straddle last week. Again, did that, talked about it live on TV on the 4th of August. And that straddles down from 18 bucks, took half of it off, about half of it off, I guess, 40% of it off, for 15 and change, and took the rest off today at 11.20. So that paid for my spread and then some, because I got into that spread at $3, the 55.75, and I've already put, mix those two. Let's see, between 11 and 15. So let's say about $2. So call it 13, about $5 we took out of that straddle in just a few days as the vol came down from 400 to 130. So that's a good day. Also, Palantir, we talked about this one. Yesterday, we saw unusual activity. This week, expiration calls. AMC, CNBC had asked me to look at some of the meme stocks. And so then I described all of these for them as quickly as I could. If you would like to dive into the summer's hottest stocks, then register today for Pete Najarian and AJ Monty. They will break records tomorrow, my friends. Why? Because it's a relatively slow week otherwise, and the fact that these guys are together for a webinar. Sign up now if you want to join live. Sign up now if you want to join live. Otherwise, you'll be watching it not tomorrow after the bell at 4 o'clock Eastern. You'll instead be watching it closer to the bell on Thursday, because we hold them up till nearly the end of the day on Thursday after these guys have done it. Why? To give some of these folks preference that are actually making a commitment and signing up. That's why. So you don't have to pay us, but you do have to sign up. So sign up now. First of our 3 at 3 today, Lithium America. Part of the president's infrastructure plan is making America a lot less gas dependent, diesel dependent by 2030. Only way you can do that really right now, well, you could do nukes. I don't see anybody driving around in a nuclear car, though. You could do hydrogen. Don't see a lot of hydrogen stations outside of California, and even California, it's very limited. Or you could do lithium ion batteries. Lithium Americas is part of that. ABML is part of that. QuantumScape is part of that. You know, I've mentioned many of those previously, and I'm long all 3 of those names, by the way. This one, Lithium America, they came in with the stock at 1667. They're buying the 1750 calls. There's the stock moving to 1715. And as you see, it popped all the way to 1794. I'm going to take a wild guess and guess that it probably did that right around the time I mentioned it on television. So again, miss a little, miss a lot, I guess, folks. Keep an eye on this. I think it'll play out this week because these are weekly calls. I will not be long this one after Friday. Second, Cano. This is a healthcare play in the United States and Puerto Rico. Cano Health. The stock's trading $10. It had been slammed down to $10 and actually broke 10. And at 10, they started coming in buying 10,000 September 10 calls. That's a lot of calls, million share equivalent. I want to follow that. And they did it because the stock is some 60% under the 52-week high now. So kind of a value at this point, you might say. So at $10, I'm willing to buy those 10 calls, the at the money calls, in hopes of selling a higher strike against it if and when it rallies. Guess what? It did. Rallied right after I talked about it on the show. There it is, moving up to 11.28 today. So that's 28 cents, $1.28 in the money for those 10 calls already. Bang. Look at the volume. Lower right corner of that chart, you see key statistics, volume, 8.83 million shares. Average volume, 2.79. I think something's up in Cano. I think they flushed out the weak hands today. Do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. That 52-week low, we got right down to it practically today, traded 991. Now I think we start working our way back up. I'm long this name. Bang. Third and final of our 3 at 3 is Sonos. You know what they do, music throughout your house. Whether you do it wirelessly or wired, Sonos can do that. And then you connect to it wirelessly usually. Sonos, $34.96, call it $35. They're buying $3.50 out of the money because they're buying the $38.50 calls. So you know already I'm buying the at the money, one, selling a higher strike one time against it. And I'll try to do that in the same expiration, August, which is basically a little less than 2 weeks from now, 10 days. And I'll try to do it for about the same amount of money as the smart money spent to get into those out of the money calls. That's how I'm moving the odds into my favor. And there it is, Sonos moving to 35, as you saw, $34.96, virtually same price, popped to as high as $35.96 today. And again, I'm going to take a wild guess and guess that might have occurred around the time I mentioned this unusual activity on the halftime report. You've got questions? Well, we've got answers. In particular, I've got answers. At Jon Najarian is how you reach me on Twitter, at JONNAJARIAN. Let's see. We have this one coming our way from at CNOBLE38, at CNoble38. Eyeballing the 300 calls out till 2023 for my MasterCard. Is it a buy, as I think your all's opinion? Yes, I do think it is a buy. They don't have a lot of risk. They're not a processor. First is the processor. These guys, all they are is basically the plastic that passes you from your bank, from your credit to the merchant. And then you have to pay them off. So I like the play. I like Visa. I like MasterCard, even though I don't own either, because I'm more in the Venmo and Square space. But I think both of these are good. I obviously have a wallet full of these cards as well. So thank you. Baba. Pop Warner, or Wagner rather, sorry. And the handle is POP Wagner, WAGNER. Baba calls 225. Yeah, like it. But the reason I'm not just like overjoyed to jump into Baba is I don't know if China is done screwing with these guys. I don't know. I have seen some unusual activity. So for that reason, I would trade some options. I wouldn't buy this stock because I could find the stock down 30, 40%. I would only buy options in any of these Chinese stocks for the time being. And let's see here. There's the Market Rebellion race car that's going to be down at Indy this weekend. Tommy Joe Martins, the driver of that Market Rebellion car, says it's race week at IMS, Indy Motor Speedway. You ready, Pete Najarian, Jon Najarian? Yeah, we're ready. In fact, we've got a whole bunch of guys and gals that are going to be down there wearing pit crew shirts. So we can't wait, Tommy. We sure hope that you get the checkered flag. And we look forward to seeing you race because you race like a demon. And we love watching you. So good luck, Tommy Martins. Good luck, Team Martins. And we look forward to seeing you this weekend. If you'd like to, you could go to marketrebellion.com/get started. What's there? Well, distance learning, meaning you could do learning at your own pace online. We give you a password, you go in and you start going through tutorials. We even give you tests so you make sure you know what you think you know. And then we have coaches and mentors for those of you who need that or want that because they can help you out. So we appreciate it, folks. I hope you check it out, marketrebellion.com/get started. I'm going to get out of here. Have a nice day.